game. It's a rich thing.
What's going on, everybody? It's the Bulls Show, aka Aidan, and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got some All-Star news to talk about for the Chicago Bulls. A big positive in terms of the All-Star game and the players that have been selected as a starter, and of course, a bit of a tougher break for another player that was not selected as an All-Star. I'm sure you know what's going to happen and who has been selected for both sides, but I will be talking about my reaction to both of those things in this video. Before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Bulls Show. Turn notifications on and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls and the All-Star selection as a starter. And of course, we'll hopefully be seeing another player as a reserve. I have no doubt about it in my mind. But let's get started with obviously the positive news for the Chicago Bulls. DeMar DeRozan is an All-Star starter for the Eastern Conference, I guess you could say, and for the All-Star game. Do you know what that means? Basically, it means that he will be starting that game. It also means that the leader of the pack for the East and the West that get to choose their respective teams in terms of the All-Star game will be selecting DeMar DeRozan either hopefully early, but even as the last pick, he is still a starter for the NBA All-Star game. Fantastic news and extremely well-deserved. DeMar DeRozan has had a breakout season compared to his last 3 seasons. We finally found a free DeMar DeRozan, a DeMar DeRozan that is free to do what he likes, that has a responsibility as a scorer and also as a playmaker, and therefore he's having an MVP caliber season. And it also feels great that DeMar DeRozan trusted in himself as well. He backed his own abilities and he backed himself to become one of the MVP candidates for this season. He walked into this season as an MVP candidate, or he walked in feeling like he was an MVP. That came out of his own words, and now he's proven that he's having a fantastic season by being an All-Star starter, and all I could say is rightfully deserved. The whole NBA has taken notice of DeMar DeRozan and his breakout season, and everybody has acknowledged that he deserves success and he deserves to be an All-Star starter. It's always great to see when the Chicago Bulls players, especially probably your best player this season, is a starter. It goes to show that you're successful this season. We are obviously one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference. We have one of the best players in the NBA. We arguably have 2 of the best players in the NBA at the moment in terms of how they're producing on the floor together, and it goes to show how successful that's been with our season so far. So it's been incredible to see DeMar DeRozan play this season, and it's all going to pay off for the rest of the NBA when they see DeMar DeRozan being a starter when that tip-off happens with whichever side he's going to be on. Moving into more breaking news, I guess you could say, for the Chicago Bulls. Zach Lavine will not be an All-Star starter this time around. And again, I'm sure we all know he will be a reserve. I think the reserve voting or the reserve players will be announced next week, but we all know Zach Lavine's going to be there. But in terms of being an All-Star starter, that is not going to be Zach Lavine this season. I guess there are a few things you could say about Zach Lavine not being an All-Star starter. Obviously, I think as a Bulls fan, and there's always going to be a small element of bias in what I say, but as a Bulls fan, he deserves to be a starter for the NBA All-Star game. He has been the best shooting guard in the league, in my opinion, and his stats do prove that as the shooting guard. And of course, the record shows that as well. And we don't have anywhere near of a great DeMar DeRozan that we have at this point in time without Zach Lavine and without the rest of the team backing him up. So Zach Lavine, obviously being the guy that averages very similar numbers to DeMar DeRozan, having a great season himself, very hard to believe that he is not going to be an All-Star starter. It goes down to the fan votes at the end of the day, and as many people have said, the players have picked Zach Lavine to be an All-Star starter, so the players are very well aware of how important Zach Lavine is to the Chicago Bulls and the reason why we're winning so many games. They get the players' respect, but the fans voted for Trae Young, and ultimately the fan votes for the starters is what fans want to see. So the fans clearly want to see Trae Young play as an All-Star starter. And no disrespect to Trae Young whatsoever in this instance. Again, himself is having a great season, but his team is not having a great season. So that is the harsh reality of this concept of an All-Star starter. What do you want to see out of an All-Star starter? It's been told for many of years now that an All-Star starter comes down to your play on the court, your winning record, and your contribution, how important you are to your team. Trae Young is obviously massively important to his team. Trae Young is having a fantastic season, but his team is not having a fantastic season. So we need to maybe look at that and say, does the winning record really matter as much as it should in terms of selecting an all-star starter? Because I think Trae Young is a perfect example. For 2 years now that he has been an all-star starter, at that point in time, his team has not been great either times that he's been selected. So it is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. That's something that we have to overcome, and that's something we have to face the reality of. Trae Young is a great player. Trae Young's a fan favorite, but it goes to show you don't need to have a winning season or a winning record at this point in time to be selected as a starter. And we're going to have to wait and see if that ever does change, or if this is something that shows a new beginning in terms of how to vote for the All-Star game, how to vote for your players. Again, if you're a fan favorite, you might just get in over being a winning player. Regardless of that, again, I'm very happy for Trae Young, obviously. I mean, no disrespect to the Atlanta Hawks or Trae Young while discussing this topic, but as a Chicago Bulls fan, knowing what Zach Lavine has done on this court every single night that he's been playing, it does hurt a little bit to know that he did not make an all-star starter appearance. But of course, as I said many a times before, he will be a reserve, no questions about it. Obviously, the coaches, if the players can see it, the coaches will be able to see it as well. I have no doubts in my mind that Zach Lavine will be an all-star. It's going to be fun to see if Zach Lavine and DeMar DeRozan end up battling each other. That's what I always wanted to see. That was always the hype dream for me, to see Zach Lavine guarding DeMar DeRozan in the all-star game, having that one moment when they're isolating against each other, offense versus defense. Who's going to win that battle? That's what I really wanted to see. And even though Zach Lavine is going to be a reserve, I still hold that for that moment, because I really want to see that moment in the All-Star game when they're going to be guarding each other. We saw it with Stephen Clay. That's been a big thing going around social media recently, and I'm sure we could definitely see that if Zach and DeMar do go against each other. Of course, if they're teammates, that will be fine too. They've been teammates before. It's going to be great for them to be teammates again, but I really, really want to see them battle each other and see what will happen. That's what I'm going to be happy about, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, if Zach Lavine doesn't get picked as an all-star, there will be hell to pay for the NBA, in my opinion. I don't think fans will ever let them get away with that. There's going to be Zach Lavine in the All-Star game, and of course, we're going to hopefully see Zach Lavine thrive in the All-Star game, rightfully deserved as well. Maybe we'll see Vucevic, who really knows? But at the end of the day, I'm going to end this video here. This is my talk on the All-Star selection. I'm so proud of DeMar DeRozan. I do feel a bit sad for Zach Lavine not being a starter, because I think the recognition around the league, a lot of people know that he should be a starter, and he didn't get that respect, I guess, by the fans in terms of voting over Trae Young. So Trae Young rightfully deserves to be the starter according to fans. Maybe Bulls fans will feel differently. And at the end of the day, of course we will. But we will see him in the All-Star game. That's the most important thing. And hopefully he will play with DeMar, or he will play against DeMar. Let's wait and see what happens. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. I'll see you in another Chicago Bulls video, ladies and gentlemen. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay tuned for more. Take care and peace.